to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom. And in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well, in all your ways, and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms, in your own vibe, in your own narrative, and that you've put up all the necessary mental barriers, because right now we're in the depths, not even the midst, the depths of a serious war. And the thing is, the war, there's no bombs, there's no tanks yet, but the war is raging, beloveds, and it's raging in people's minds. It's like there's like an attempted mental takeover. There was it started slowly with the mental colonization and then creating mental addiction, weakening us mentally. And now it's like a full-on takeover, beloveds, with everything that's happening. And so it's so important for us to learn if there's any advice I would give anyone who is on this awakening journey it's learn to keep quiet. Learn to say less, beloveds. Because the way the system is being set up now, they are getting ready to create a total surveillance system where friend will spy on friend and brother will spy on sister and children will spy on their parents. Literally, that's where the world is going. And just because of the way it is with the technology, you could have a conversation and that conversation is recorded and is sent out to, the enemy of your soul. So really, beloved, it's time to keep things to yourself. We're in a season of war. Our parents understood, our grandparents, I should say, our ancestors understood this well. In a season of war, you don't say none. You don't share unnecessary information. And you see, with the way social media is, where you're you make it easy for the powers that be to surveillance you, because posing here, posing there, chilling here, just drank this. Or if it's not you, you go meet some friends in a restaurant, they take a video of everyone, upload it onto whatever platform, and, there you are. So if you really want to make it through, beloveds, if you're serious, not just about making it through, but making a contribution for the liberation of our people, then you need to start to say way less. Way less. Because your confidant today could be the one that sells you out tomorrow, and you have no way of knowing. And there's certain things that I've just started doing in my life. There's certain ways that revolutionaries are acting now. And I will definitely share that after. But beloveds, it is so important to keep your secret now. To keep your decisions to yourself. Not only because of, everything is mental first, beloveds, before it comes into the physical. And for many of us, we haven't realized how so much of our ideas and dreams are shattered mentally because we talk about them before we should, or before they've even had a chance to take life of their own. So they're aborted. They're prematurely ended. And sometimes it's the doubt that others create in us. But sometimes it's just their jealousy and their envy and their negative thoughts towards our project that will be attacking that up there. So you could be having a conversation with your BFF, talking about how you're going to make, you're going to start making $5,000, a month doing this and that. And you figured out this perfect formula. And she's like, oh my God, that's so awesome. Yeah. And inside she's like, nah, that can't happen. Come on. No, and then, maybe a panic, like, how can she get out? And I don't know. She can't do that. She can't. I mean, she doesn't even have what it takes to. So your idea that was there, that was starting to blossom, is all of a sudden attacked by this nearest and dearest who you have allowed into your fortress. So they have the right to attack your dreams because they're one of your five, they're one of your influences. And immediately that thing gets shattered. And it's happening so rapidly now. And the way to avoid this, first of all, is to elevate. I keep saying, elevate yourself spiritually, beloveds. Of course, there will be, new levels, new devils, but you don't want to be dealing with the devils of old, these low vibe beings trying to, blocking your progress. Because now you need to be moving supernaturally. And if you are online and you're connected to your spiritual team, some of the things they tell you won't make sense to your nearest and dearest. And it's not even that it won't make sense to them. Like, so start putting doubt in your mind. They'll start attacking it with that doubt in the unseen world. That's another level. But the other level is a lot of people that we're talking to haven't done the work. They're unbalanced. And with the chaotic energy that is just sweeping across the globe, they're getting more unbalanced. And so you can't trust someone who is a weak spirit, beloveds, because they can sell you out at any time. They can change their mind at any time. They can turn on you at any time. And so it's so important. I did a show on moving in silence, how critical it is to move in silence. You don't know how many people have contacted me. One week they were moving to Ghana. The next week they're like, I had a huge blowout with, my moms and my grandmoms and my aunt, and they sat me down and, I think I'll wait a little bit. Or I got a reading and the reader was like, don't move there. You know what I mean? Stop sharing information prematurely. And that this is just making moves. But even some of the decisions you take for your health, beloveds, maybe some of the things that you've stocked up for your family to ensure that you survive what's coming next. Sharing this kind of information just puts you and your family in danger. Because that information in the wrong hands could mean that, your family ends up in a camp. So it is critical, beloveds, at such a time as this, to learn to keep your mouth shut and don't share. It's going to reach the point where you can't tell your folks nothing, even your partner. Especially if one took a shot and the other didn't. Like, it's becoming, we're in a surveillance society now, beloveds. The only way they maintain control is by knowing what everyone is doing and saying. They want to know the rebels among them, among society. They want to know who's not following protocol. And then they'll be looking for you. So if you don't have your phone and everything, but your friend does, and then, they're pinged in and everyone around them is caught up and they also know you're there. This is the reality of where we're going, beloveds. A lot won't make it because they share their plans with the wrong person or peoples. People are weak now. You got a weak spirit can't be trusted. Let's take a short break. When we come back, I'll talk about some of the steps that I've taken in ensuring that my plans continue to roll out. We'll be right back.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
Welcome back, beloveds, to Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. The importance of keeping quiet, I can't tell you, especially if among your family, among your most loved ones, among your most trusted ones, beloveds, because we're being put in a situation right now where it's a total surveillance society. And even your nearest and dearest can sell you out without even knowing they're selling you out. They may just share information that to them may not be a big deal, but it totally reveals something about you. And it's funny, I talked about this in a previous episode, how Facebook had launched this survey, which immediately got shut down, where they were asking people if their friends or loved ones were radical, etc., etc. This is what a surveillance society looks like. This is what Big Brother looks like, beloveds. Right now, they'll be monitoring words, but, in the future, they'll even have thought police. Those are the levels we're going at, beloveds. monitoring everything so that they maintain complete control because they know how easy it is for them to lose control. It's a very delicate balance because you can't control a spiritual people just by controlling their vehicles. You can limit them by controlling their vehicles, but you can't control or dominate them. Anyway, those are definitely stories for other days. And it's really important to take certain steps right now. Like, beloveds, you don't need to share everything with your friends and family. There's certain personal moves that you're making in your life, whether it's to relocate to Africa, buy land, farm, stock up on food, stock up on water. You can advise them to do these things. But no one should ever know, apart from, I mean, if whoever you're living with, I guess they would have to know. But you both really need to get on code. And you need to school your children. You know, the Mau Mau, their children, they took the oath too. The children were the greatest spies. They were the ones that were able to get the secrets because they'd go and observe, they'd follow the Mzungu and observe and listen to what they were saying. They were totally on code. And many of you, your children are totally off code. They're more loyal to their social media than they are to you. And that's why it's important to tell the children the truth, like of what's going on. They can handle it, of how crazy this world is. I mean, they need to know. Because when certain people knock on your door, you're going to have schooled your child to give certain responses that won't sell the whole family out. I hope you get my drift. So, beloveds, if you really want to be a leader of tomorrow, if you are a chosen one, then you need to know that they are hunting for your soul. They're going to shut you down because they know that you alone are a game changer. So they'll try and limit you, censor you, eliminate you. Literally, seriously. So don't share information, beloveds. Don't share what you're doing. Secondly, the time for debating is over. Don't get into these crazy debates with friends and family where people get emotional. Because let me tell you, weak spirits cannot keep a secret and they will sell you out just because they're in their feelings. Even if it means calling another friend to tell them how you two argued and you said this and they said that and you said this and they said that, then that call is surveillanced. I mean, if you're already on someone's list, you know, this is just information stacked against you. Some of you even need to keep the secrets. Like if you're planning to build an off-grid home, not everyone needs to know that. Just do it. Less talking, more action, beloveds. And this is something I've had to do in my own life. And you know, it's funny because my teacher is always telling me that your secret is your power and your secret is your weapon. But we're getting into a season where your secret will be your defense, beloveds. Whether you're participating or not in the kill shot, it's no one else's business. If you feel like people are leaning one way, pretend you're with them in that side. If you feel like people are leaning this way, pretend you're with them. I mean, really, this thing of sharing information, unless you're spirit-led, beloveds, it's really not worth it. You just need to be doing what you need to be doing to get out of the way of the fall of Babylon, because it's going to be epic. And it's going to catch so many people in its snares, you know? You don't want to be one of them. So I've reached the point, beloveds, because of the nature of my work, I don't speak on the phone. Because especially to strangers and random people calling me, I don't care who you are, whether you're the president or wherever, it doesn't matter. I'm not talking to you on the phone. I can count the number of people I speak to on the phone on one hand. I'm not leaving voice notes. I'm not leaving a trail of my voice anywhere. Things like Facebook, it's only for me a professional site. I don't post my birthday pictures. I don't post my holiday, my bikini shot, my holiday shot. No, we're in a surveillance society. The more information they have on you, the more easier you are to control and monitor and surveillance. The less information they have on you, the better. The less you'll be able to be snared into their system and their matrix. So I don't talk on the phone. I don't leave voice notes. The only thing I'm communicating now is on email. I'm not meeting friends. I'm not meeting family. That time is over, beloveds. Like let's have a powwow over lunch. Nah. I'm preparing my bunker, beloveds. I'm preparing my food for next. I'm trying to be as off grid as possible. So also, I mean, you also have to think, how beneficial is it for you to post your radical ideas on your Facebook to friends and family? Because everyone has taken their stand, beloveds. Unless someone specifically comes to you, like a younger cousin is like, ask for your specific information and your spirit feels comfortable enough to share something, go ahead. But don't get share unnecessary information unless you're spiritually, because there's some who are warriors out there. And as a warrior, you come with certain protection. So you can say something and someone else can say it and it will be a total fallout for them, but you'll say it and you'll just continue with life. I don't even eat out, beloveds, for spiritual reasons. I cook all my own food. Like, these are the levels you need to reach. I mean, okay, cooking your own food and all that, that's a whole other level. But beloveds, don't go to unnecessary meetings and hangouts. Learn to be your best friend. Learn to be your own best company. Don't just be chatting on the phone aimlessly. That weakens you. We're in a surveillance state where they're trying to figure out who are the outliers in terms of who are the ones who are going to cause a problem, who are not going to be down with the system. They want to identify those fast so they can see how they can already shut you down or shut you out. If you have any other ideas, please put them down below. But I really, beloveds, this comes from the bottom of my soul, for real. Learn to move in silence.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
So, beloveds, it is so important to make sure that absolutely, you are keeping a lot of your stuff, the stuff you're doing, to yourself at such a time as this. A lot of your, especially if you're a radical, especially if this is for the black sheep out there, the radicals out there, the ones who know themselves, the ones who are awakened and are watching this whole mess like, are you for real? Like, this is what you guys are actually doing and you're getting away with it? How? This is for those people. You need to be especially careful. Even if it's just you've always had alternative opinions, even your own opinion could get you in trouble. I wish many of our ancestors were still around to kind of school us on some of the things that they had to do during times of war, because we are in a war, beloveds. It's a mental war. It's a spiritual war. It's a mental attack. It's a mental invasion. And they planned for it so perfectly. And some people are just too far gone, and you risk your own salvation, your own liberation by trying to talk them out of it. When the people are ready, I've noticed when people are really ready, they reach out. And that's when you can now start having a conversation. But until they're ready, they'll always think you're a conspiracy theorist, you're crazy, you're this, you're that. But do what you need to do, beloveds, and don't share, because you see, those things can discourage you and delay you and waste your energy. Because people should be stocking up on food, on water. And those same people who are laughing at you today will be the same people who will be like, weren't you telling us about like prepping? Weren't you telling us about stocking food? So you have food. So I'm coming with my family. We have absolutely nothing. You got to help us. Like, beloveds, that's the situation. I would go to the point of, don't even tell people where your location is, where you're going off grid. Like, if sugar was to hit the fan, you don't need to tell people what your plan is. I mean, have your nearest and dearest, but vet them. Put them up against your spiritual team. Make sure they can actually hold their own. And that if push came to shove, they wouldn't sell you. But spiritually weak people are dangerous, beloved. So no matter who you're dealing with, if they have even a bit of a religious psychosis, then literally who knows if they can be trusted. Let me just put it like that. Anyway, it's so important to keep quiet, beloveds. So important. Silence is golden. My mama and my grandmama have, always told me that. Silence is golden, beloveds. Already you're not alone. There's a spiritual team that is guiding you right now, telling you the steps you need to take, and you don't need to share that with everybody else. You really need to learn to keep silent, beloveds, because the system and the powers that be are getting ready to turn people against each other already with these mobile phones. I mean, it's going to reach a point, beloveds, where you can't have your mobile phone in your house. You'll have to have like a shack in your compound where you have your mobile phones, your computer, your gadgets, all of that. If you want to communicate, and make sure that shack is covered in the right things where, anyway, there's many things there's so many things to discuss. But literally, that's where you're going to have to reach. Friends won't be able to come visit you and have their phones on them. Because they may not be recording anything, but that device surely is. People taking pictures of you, your family, your children, your properties, your things. Like that thing of photo ops, beloveds, like pull away from that. Pull away from having your picture taken and all this stuff. And if you don't have to, if you're not being called to be online right now, remove your signature as much as possible. Your online signature. There's videos that can tell you how to disappear. Chuko pamoja.